All right, folks, on a Wednesday, Brian Blessing in Las Vegas. And on hump day, we got a lot of baseball, but this is the day before the U.S. Open and your chance to get your future wagers in and some of the props that are going to be offered. Going to be an awesome major. Really fired up about this at Chambers Bay. Don't forget our friends at oddsworthbetting.com have the featured pick of the day for you below this video. But let's talk about the U.S. Open, the second major. Jordan Spieth, of course, wants to keep those Grand Slam hopefuls alive. He's the second choice at 8-1. Rory McIlroy's the favorite at 7-1. He won here in the States. He went over to Europe and played horribly for a couple of weeks, but recharged the batteries. This is a guy, obviously, with the length, which could be a big deal on this course, that makes him a major player, and he's got the pedigree to get the job done. Dustin Johnson looks to me to be a guy that has a big shot, but the price is no good at 15-1. This is going to be a link-style course. It's more a British Open than it is a U.S. Open. These guys will be keeping the ball on the ground an awful lot. And length may not actually be the big advantage everybody thinks it is because the greens are so hard and the slopes that protect the pin placements. You got to get the ball on the ground. Even wedges will bounce away from the hole. So driving the ball in the fairways at a premium, the length is not there. But Zach Johnson is a curious soul to me at a monster price at 60-1. I think because it's a link-style course, you could consider some European guys. Sergio Garcia will frustrate the living daylights out of you. He has for the majority of his career. But I think Sergio's got the length, drives the ball well, is a guy you can consider. And you want one of the craziest idea in the world? How about Colin Montgomery playing great in majors on the senior tour, has that USGA pedigree on the setups. Think about the US Open. Guys like Lee Janzen winning too, Curtis Strange. These are really, good golfers, but for whatever reason, they always showed up on the big stage, specifically at the US Open. And the other guy, I think Angel Cabrera is certainly a guy that you can't discount. He knows how to get it done in U.S. Opens, and you get a monster price. But it's going to be fun. It should probably get the same cast of characters. Phil Mickelson going for the career Grand Slam. He will get tons of support. He's just right now so inconsistent, but for whatever reason, Mickelson's always hanging around there at the top of the leaderboard in the U.S. Open. It's going to be a good one. Chambers Bay up in Washington, very unique setup. A Robert Trent Jones Jr. course. Looking forward to it. Great opportunities on the wagering board. Lots of opportunities for us on a Wednesday in Major League Baseball. All night games on the docket. Tampa Bay is at Washington. Andriesky goes versus Jordan Zimmerman. Getting some bizarre matchups here. Baltimore's at Philly with Jimenez versus Correa. The Mets at Toronto north of the border. Nice versus Hutchison. Pittsburgh at the White Sox. Jeff Locke goes versus John Danks. You get St. Louis at Minnesota. With Martinez versus Tommy Malone, who kind of runs hot and cold. San Francisco's at Seattle. Bumgarner goes versus King Felix. How about Hernandez last week? A horrible start. Looking to see if there's something wrong with King Felix or if he bounces back in a big way. And then an interesting game. The hitting of Texas versus the pitching of the Dodgers. Clayton Kershaw goes versus Wandy Rodriguez. It's a busy hump day in Major League Baseball. But again, the second major gets going Thursday at Chambers Bay. The U.S. Open, that little bridge, right? We get the Stanley Cup handed out, NBA winding down. Now we move forward a little baseball, the U.S. Open, Women's World Cup, but football is coming, and it's coming fast. Don't forget oddsworthbetting.com. Featured pick of the day each and every day is available to you right below this video.